Guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Ifeoluwa Akinpelu. You can call me the Lady Fair. I film about faith, I film about family, femininity, and lifestyle. To all my returning subscribers, I say thank you so much for always coming back. And if you are new here, thank you so much for coming. Do not forget to like this video, comment below, subscribe to this channel, and put on your notifications so that you can be notified when I drop new videos. Thank you so much for coming here, and I'm expecting you to subscribe. Please do not forget to subscribe. Hit that button, subscribe now. Thank you so much. So in continuation of the wedding series I started, I will be talking about how to handle family issues that arise during wedding preparation. And I'm doing this. The wedding series actually started with my proposal video, and I have a lot of things to share with you in this wedding series. Please make sure that you watch all of the videos under this wedding playlist and do not miss anyone. So thank you. So let's get started. So the number one thing I would like to tell you about is that back and forth is absolutely normal. Conflict is normal. Misunderstanding is normal. Wanting things in a way and your family wanting it the other way is normal. Having different needs, different desires, different mindsets around what the wedding should look like, what things that should be done is normal. It's absolutely normal. So I don't want you to feel like, okay, maybe it's only your family that has this peculiarity. No, it is absolutely normal. And in this video, I'll be helping you to navigate through this process without getting hurt or without falling into depression, anxiety, or whatever it is that can stress you. So, and also one of the things I would like to say before I jump into my main point is that despite the fact that having all this back and forth is normal, whatever happens this period can actually cause a lasting effect, can have a lasting impact on the way you are perceived, on the way your spouse is perceived, or on your family. So I want you to think before you act whenever issues arise. Please always put it in mind to think well. Take your time to think deep before you take actions. Think before you talk. Do not say things you will regret later. Watch what you say. Watch your gestures. You don't want to give a perception that will be used against you later in the future, or you don't want to create a perception about you that is really contradictory to the kind of person that you really are. So in this period, you have to be very sensitive. You have to be quiet a lot of times. It's better to be slow in speaking, be fast in hearing, but be very slow when it comes to speaking, when it comes to acting. Take your time before taking decisions. And having said this, I would like to jump into 7 things I believe that you should do when you are preparing your wedding to avoid unnecessary drama. And number one thing I'd like to tell you is to know what you want. It is very important for you to have a vision of what you want your wedding to look like. What is your budget? What is the scene that you want? What is the ambience that you want? Do you want a lot of people? Do you want a specific number of people? Do you want like a family get together? Do you want an elaborate wedding? Know what you want and make sure that your spouse is in agreement with what you want. Of course, the two of you come together to say, okay, if the budget for this wedding is 5 million naira, no matter what happens, we are not going beyond that. And well, you can spend less than that, but we are not going beyond this in terms of budget. In ambience, okay, this is what we want. We want a white wedding with a garden feel, or I want a destination wedding, or I don't mind a normal church wedding, or you want a field wedding with tents. Whatever you want, just be clear about it and spell it out that this is what I want. You know what you want, communicate what you want with your spouse. Be one in that decision before you now begin to present it to family members and friends that okay, this is what you want to do. Because the truth of the matter is, even when you want to start wedding planning, that is one of the first questions people keep asking. What do you want? What is your budget? What ambience do you want? What kind of wedding do you want to do? What do you want to see? And stuff like that. So it is very important for you to know what you want in agreement with your spouse. And number 2 is differentiate the majors from the minors. Yeah, don't major on the minor, and don't minor on the major. And what do I mean by this? During wedding preparation, there are things that you know that is very particular to you. For example, for me now, some of the things that are very particular to me that I wasn't even ready to compromise, or I was so keen about, is I was talking about my decoration, my videography, my photography, and what else? And my attire. So I knew that these four things are very important for me and I do not want to compromise. So whatever thing. Okay, and number five also, I wanted a garden wedding. I wanted something very simple and beautiful. So it was one of the things why decoration was part of my major. So the five things I just listed were my major. So any other thing that comes around that, when it comes to say food, when it comes to people that were coming, when it comes to, as much as they are important to me, they are not as important as the things that I mentioned first. Everything is important. Do not forget that everything is important. But that is why I said you should categorize them into major and minor. Minor in the sense that somehow you can still afford to compromise or you can still be flexible. The major ones are the ones that if anything happens to them, you will not feel good with yourself. You will feel like you do not have a perfect wedding, you do not have a wedding of your dream. So it is very important for you to categorize things into the major category and the minor categories, and major on the major things, on the most important things to you. Do not major on the minor and minor on the major, and vice versa. The third thing is that be one with your spouse. In this wedding preparation, it is very important that you and your spouse are in constant agreement, that you agree to things, because as much as family issues are arising from one place or the other, you do not want to be having conflict with your partner in this season. So it is very important for you guys to always come in agreement. There is no conversation with any other person about any subject matter until you already have communicated it to your spouse and you have reached an agreement. So it is very important that in this season you do not joke with communication with your spouse. You speak about everything the way you want things done. I want to urge our men to also be more expressive. If there are some things that you really do not care about, let the lady know that, okay, I really don't care about this. Whatever you want to do is fine. And if there are some things that you are very particular about, communicate it to your wife to be. Let her know that these things, I cannot compromise on them and they are very important to me. And whatever it is that the two of you have not really discussed, it is always better for you to say that, okay, you'll get back to them and discuss with your spouse rather than you just giving a verdict. It might end up not going well. So it's always very important for you to be one with your spouse in communication. And I want you to know that even as issues arise and we have a lot of back and forth, it is important for you to understand that you and your spouse, you are one. You are fighting for the same purpose. Nobody is fighting one another. You are not each one another's enemy. This is one of the things that my husband used to say then when we're having this wedding preparation and all. I had a quote that we used then, that we are not fighting one another, but the two of us are one, fighting against an external thing. You must always understand the fact that you are fighting against something. You are not fighting against each other. So it's very important for you to be one in thoughts, to be one in communication. Whatever it is you have not properly discussed with your spouse, it is better for you to hold on before communicating it to an outsider. Be one with your spouse in communication. Saves you stress and complications. The fourth thing I would like to mention is that you should understand their perspectives. When your family members or friends or people involved in the wedding planning are talking about one thing or the other, saying this or that, take time to understand their perspective. Okay, if we do this way they want things to be done, what will be the result? Is the result still in alignment with what I want? If the result is not in alignment with what you want, okay, is it close to it? Can I compromise a little bit? If it is completely different, you can now communicate to them with wisdom that, okay, no, this is not what you want, but you must be willing to understand their perspectives, because at times everybody wants something glorious, everybody wants something nice. We are heading towards the same destination, but we want to go through different means. So at times we still want to achieve the same result, but want to go through different paths. We want to journey differently. If the result that will be achieved is still the same, I think we should be ready to compromise a little bit. I mean, be flexible. Don't be rigid. This is the way I want things done, and that is it. Understand their perspectives. What are they trying to communicate? If we do things the way they want things to be done, what will be the result that we will get? If you feel like the result we will get is still the same thing that you really want, why not be flexible? Stick to their plans. There is a way you can always twist things. So be flexible, but always try to understand their perspective. Try to understand the point they are talking from. Try to understand where they want the whole thing to end. If the result is the same as what you want, why not? We can choose to do things in different ways as long as the same result is achieved. But if it's completely different from what you want, then you want to be flexible. You want to change the way things are. You want to compromise a little bit. But at the end of the day, the result you want must still be what you will get. And the fifth thing is, know what you want and stand with it with wisdom. That number 5 is still in alignment with the fourth thing that I said. Know what you want and stand with it with wisdom. Wisdom is the principal thing. It is very important for you to handle things with wisdom. You have to be wise, you have to be sensitive. When you want to stand with what you want, that this is the real thing that I want, just ensure that you are doing so with wisdom. It is very important for you to be wise in this season, because like I said earlier on, you really do not want to create a wrong perception of who you are. You do not want to be fighting some battles and be setting unnecessary quarrel after the wedding ceremony itself. So it's always important for you to seek wisdom. Pray to God to give you wisdom in handling matters. It's very important to keep communicating with God. Father, help me. How do I handle this matter? I remember that when there were some challenges like that, and today there's one. This Sunday, mine was always like a Sunday affair. Every Sunday like this was just like, from okay, let us change introduction day to, I wanted a typical traditional wedding, and that was all. I just wanted to go to I just wanted a civil wedding, then have a proper traditional wedding, no church. So that was what I wanted to do. But because I knew that my parents are ministers, I would still have to do church wedding. So I was thinking, okay, I could just do something small for church in the morning, then I come back to have my proper traditional wedding. So that was what we all agreed on before, and we started making plans towards that. Before one Sunday, everybody just come and say, no, you cannot do church before traditional. And I'm like, okay. So that means automatically, if I'm not doing church before traditional, I have to go back to the normal way of engagement, traditional rites, church, and reception. And I didn't want it that way, but at the point, it was each time that things were changing, introduction day was changing, what I wanted was changing. Let me even give you the list of things that changed during the wedding planning. My God, I had a lot of things that actually changed. From okay, we had a mini introduction at first, and my parents were like, okay, that's the introduction, we don't have to do anything again. And okay, we moved on with wedding planning, and at a point they had to come back and say, no, it was the introduction. I was destabilized. I was like, I already thought I was done with that. What is it again that we must do about introduction? They're like, okay, it is normal in Yoruba land, you must just do it. Families, so people, person, this person must be there, this person must be there, so people must be there, and all like that. That was the very first one I had. After then, it was now when I had to change from traditional wedding to a proper normal Nigerian wedding, because I really wanted a traditional wedding for, but I had to change. After then, something else changed. There was a change in dates. There was a change in date within the church. Was saying they were not available for that day. They had a program, and it was, I already paid. Almost all my vendors were already paid at that point. I'd paid a lot. I'm like, so you tell me I change dates, even the hall and everything that will be used, you just want me to change dates like that? It is not going to be possible. But at the end of the day, I didn't end up using that church. I had to use another church. So it was one of the back and forth that I experienced during my wedding. So it is absolutely normal that you just have a lot of back and forth. I'm still coming out. I'm not done. I still have a couple of things that happened during my wedding. After resolving church issues, there was also an issue that came up that, okay, I think the church I now wanted to use were saying that they wouldn't come for garden wedding or something, that I have to come to the church. And if I was coming to the church, my reception, my hotel plans will be messed up. Garden is the same venue with the reception. They have a garden, they have a hall. So we're going to use the garden for church and use the hall for reception. But at the point, they just said they wanted me to come to church for church wedding, and I'm like, oh, that's gonna mess up my plans. It's like kilometers apart. So do I leave the hotel early in the morning, go there, travel down kilometers, and still now come back? I was just confused. I'm like, how do I go about this? But at the end of the day, everything still went well. The church later agreed to using the garden. We had a lot of back and forth when it comes to food, and I think it's something that will actually happen in almost any Yoruba wedding, because in fact almost any wedding, because food is like a normal thing. So if you are so lucky that they agree to your caterer, they agree to the way food wants to be served and everything, then in terms of, you don't have issues with that. After that, again, I started having some doctrinal issues with my dad. Okay, no makeup, no revealing dress. Yeah, I agree with the fact that there was no, I am not going to wear any revealing dress. Naturally, I don't even like revealing dresses. And you cannot do this hair, you cannot do that hair, you cannot, you are fine the way you are, no powder, nothing. And I'm like, oh my God. So it was one of these things that was getting at me. I'm like, God, how do I do this? And it was just like, it was every Sunday thing. So immediately I come back from church and I rest, and sometimes my fiance comes over so that we could discuss. I will just receive that call, just one call that can just change everything. In 2 minutes, everywhere I've bust already, and they're wondering that where are we going on next. So it was just like that till almost the wedding. I remember there was a day that after service, I was just like tired of the whole thing. After church service, I was just walking down the street that day. I was crying. I called my mom, what is happening, blah 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 blah. She was like, are you crying on the road? Calm down, calm down. And I just got to my compound. I didn't enter the room. I just sat outside somewhere in a corner. I was just there, like I wanted peace of mind. And it was getting late already. My sisters were already looking for me. They went back to church to look for me. How? Here's my sister and stuff like that. And they didn't even know that I was in the compound. It was not later, after a minute, and I came in. They were like, oh, we've been looking for you everywhere. We've called your partner, we've called your brother, we've got this one. My brother was like, she actually called me, but she didn't tell me anything. My mom also was like, they were worried that maybe I got lost or something, but I was fine. I just needed space to clear my head that night. In short, as a matter of fact, if I want to list everything, there were some that I really cannot be going into details, but there were issues from groom's side, from parents' side, changing of time, how do we even work with this new plan, and it's lots like that. In fact, there's even a day, there was a day I made a video, like a rant video. I need to link that up there. Just watch. Here we are again. This is a rant video. Like, I want to rant. For the past 3 months, it's been like I'm always being served breakfast every Sunday. On breakfast or the other. Custard, oats, in different shades and form. Oh, they said today's breakfast is pepper soup, assorted pepper soup. Oh my god. Actually, I have not received the breakfast yet, but I've smelled it. I have smelled it, and I can know that no, I think today's one is pepper soup, assorted pepper soup to be precise, in Rishi, you know. This wedding preparation, this life has a spinter. One day, we shall overcome, and we will move. In consideration of the things that I was sharing with you, this is the sixth thing that you should have: a shoulder to lean on. I am super grateful that I had a friend that was staying with me then, and my sister, because at times even your spouse cannot comfort you when all these things happen, because you are both into it together. So it's always good for you to have a friend that you can lean on. There was my friend there, my sister was there too. The two of them were there for me. When I want to rant, I rant to them. When I want to cry, I cry to them. They hug me when they need to. They counsel me when they need to. They tell me, oh, it's going to be well when they need to. So it's always important for you to actually have that friend or that sister or anybody, whoever it is. In fact, it's a friend that you can always pour out your mind to, that you can always tell that this is what is going on. You can always tell that this is what I'm doing. I don't understand again. I want to give up. Should we cancel this thing? It is always important, because in them comforting you, you actually find solace. It makes you to be calm. You're at peace. Even just as common as that statement is, it does a lot of things to you that you don't even know. It helps you to remain calm, helps you to remain at peace with yourself. So it's always important for you to have a shoulder to lean on in this season. Don't think that you can do it all, you can take it all. Please have friends that you can always run to hug and cry on their shoulder. Or friends can always run to for counsel. One thing, and the last thing I'd like to say, the last but not the least, is it is very important. Seek counsel. Oh my god, this is very important. It's very important for you to seek counsel from the people that have gone ahead of you. Seek counsel from probably a counselor, a professional counselor, your pastor, your mentor, or anybody that you know that person is very capable to deal with you. I remember that there were times that we had some issues, especially when it comes to guests. I was saying that I think I wanted a wedding of we moved from 150 to 350. Although when we said we wanted 150, we made provision for 300. So we moved from that 300 again. I think 300 was not the last, and I told them that it was 300 I wanted, but in the real sense we made provision for 500. So I told them that it was 300 I wanted. I don't know how my parents are going to do it and all like that. So it was causing a lot of issues. That how dare you say I should not bring this person, or do you know what you're saying, and stuff that comes up like that. Because even me, I have friends that I have to just sideline and tell them that I told them that there were some people that I just told few days to my wedding, because I told them because I know that they will not be able to attend, and I was just trying to control crowd because I really do not want this, because I really wanted something confined, not something so elaborate, and looking at my budget also. So it was something that my head was just banging as things were coming, as stuffs were happening. And at a point, I remember I was going to a pastor, myself and my fiancé, and oh my God, that man is so full of wisdom. I celebrate you, Pastor Femi Lazarus and Pastor Miracle Femi Lazarus. They were a father and a mother to us during this session, and it was amazing. I just remember we just sat them, myself and my fiancé, in their office, and we just expressed everything that was going on. And they just told us one thing. They just said, okay, this is what you should do this, do that, don't do this. When they say this, don't say this. When they say, my God, those counsels worked like magic. Like immediately we left their office that night, something happened, and I applied what they said. I did it the way they asked me to do, and the issue just got resolved. And I'm like, oh my God, so I've been suffering myself all this while by not taking counsel, by not asking the necessary people I was supposed to ask, and stuff like that. It's really very important that I sought counsel at that point, and it was like the solution to all of my problems. So in all you're getting, even the Bible says that you're getting, you must get understanding, you must seek wisdom, get to know things. You cannot continue to live in ignorance. It's very important for you to seek counsel. Please do not take it for granted. And on this note, I would like to end this video while we continue the rest of the wedding series, and I'll see you in my next video. Please, if you're having any difficulty regarding your wedding planning, do not forget to, you can always send me a DM on IG. You can send me a mail at theladyfair@gmail.com, and you can also put a comment here. Perhaps I can answer the questions. And if you want a one-on-one chat, you can always send a DM on IG, and I'll be waiting for you to ask me any question relating to that, and I'll be there to answer you and give you the best, as the Lord will be helping me and loading me with wisdom to attend to your needs. Thank you so much for watching this video to this point. I hope you have learned one or two things. What is the advice that stood out for you most? Or if you have done wedding and there was something that people don't say when it comes to wedding planning that you wish that people know, can you tell them? If there's any question you have, or you are preparing for wedding and some things are unclear to you, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll be there waiting for you. Thank you so much for watching this video to the end. I love you with all my heart. Thank you so much. Bye. Know what you want. This cannot be overemphasized. Is this still recording? Okay, it's recording. And the number one thing I'd like to tell you is know what you want. This cannot be overemphasized. Even as issues arise, even as we have a lot of, the results that we will act. That wisdom part is very important.